Yeah, we're gonna have to get the raincoat out. I'm fucking cold. Really, I'm only cold because I'm not wearing my leather raincoats on the next stop, which I don't know where. I wasn't really planning on making any stops. I was just gonna go for a really quick cruise. And there's actually something I did want to talk to you guys about today. I don't know if that camera is going to stay like that. I might have to tighten the thing. Oh yeah, I'm going to have to tighten it. As soon as I put it up, it came right back down. Damn it, now I got to open the Kriega. I had a raincoat sitting in my living room too I could have threw on. So I'm going to pull over right up here. I'm going to tighten my GoPro. And I'm probably going to go ahead and dig a layer out of my bag. And then we're going to have a little talk. So we need to tighten this. Nope, that's loosening it. Tighten. There we go. Ooh, let the bike run. Raincoat, hello to you. What I wanted to talk to you guys about, I saw this on... It was a Facebook post. One of the local Facebook groups here, full of riders. Guy put in it, I guess his, I hope you guys can hear me because I'm picking up a lot of wind noise today that I don't normally hear. I hope you guys are not hearing it. So I guess his car broke down. And so all he has right now is this bike. And he's never ridden in the rain before. And he wanted tips for riding in the rain. And I gave him a bunch of tips and a bunch of people actually commented on it. And it kind of got me thinking that I should probably make a video, tips for riding in the rain. Because there are things that you can do to sort of help yourself out. So like normally, I like to ride with high R's. And I usually ride in a gear lower than what I necessarily need because I like my high R's. However, in the rain, I would not be riding in a lower gear. I wouldn't even be riding in, say, the gear I would typically use. I would be riding in a higher gear to lower my RPMs. So we can talk more about that here in just a second. I'm trying to like get my thoughts together. I'm not 100% sure on how I want to approach this video here, but I guess this is a good start. In the rain, you want to do nothing abrupt. You don't want to hard on the brakes because your tires can like wash out in the water. So really, you want to keep everything smooth. You don't want to be just using your front or just using your rear. In all reality, you want to use your brakes as evenly as possible, applying approximately the same amount of pressure to the front as the rear. And you want to come in a sense, you know, nice and slow. You don't want to abrupt where like you're putting, like right now I feel a lot of force going toward the front. That would be bad. More likely that you are going to wash that tire right out and you're just going to go whoosh. So in a turn, it's not that you can't lean in wet. If any of you guys have watched like MotoGP, sometimes they race in the rain and they're at full lean in the rain. One, they're running different tires. Two, the track is like a grippier pavement. So there's a few reasons why, as an example, riding in the rain on the track with especially pro riders is gonna be a little bit different to you riding out here in the road. At least in my home state here, typically when we have a big rain, especially in a turn, a lot of our turns have like they're not just like flat, they'll have like a gradient one way or the other. And what'll happen is you get all this rain, like right here there's some curbs. There's a lot of places around here that there are no curbs. And where there are no curbs and you're just talking a dirt covered shoulder, as all that rain comes down, it'll wash a lot of that dirt and gravel literally into the road. Not exactly something you want, not necessarily ideal. So, for riding in the rain on the road, dude, I tightened that and it's not staying where I put it. Alright, I want to catch a red light so I can try to retighten this. Don't change. Don't change. Don't change. This is not tightening how it should though. Not even close. Like, it is still loose as fuck for supposedly being tightened. I don't know how I feel about your case, Gray. But so, anyways, back to what I was talking about. My hair is bothering me. The way it's in a bun is, like, totally bothering me. Back to what I was saying, though, is you get all this rain coming down, and it washes stuff into the road, like dirt and gravel. So not only is it wet, you also may have some dirt, gravel, or sand that is being washed into your turn. So especially if you've never really ridden in the rain before, and then you're doing road riding in the rain, I recommend just not even really leaning. The less lean, the better, as a matter of fact. And then if you are caught in a lean on the road, you want to be even less abrupt. You don't want to be rolling on and off the throttle or anything like that in that rain. You're just asking for trouble. So, especially if you're not used to riding in the rain, I highly super recommend just don't lean. Try to go through the turns pretty much as straight up as possible. Don't be abrupt at all. Like I said, don't grab handfuls of gas, don't grab handfuls of brake. You're going to want to allow yourself extra braking room from what you normally would, for that matter, because you're going to be using them slower than what you would be in dry conditions. Invest in a good raincoat, and I highly recommend one that has reflectors on it. Granted, today is a nice bright day, but in the rain, it can be cloudy. Your visibility can be affected by the actual rain coming down. You want to attempt to make yourself as visible as possible. So I highly recommend some rain gear that has reflectors. This jacket does have reflectors. I'm not 100% happy with the reflectors on this jacket. My other rain jacket actually has more reflectors on it, and I like that one better. It makes me feel safer and more confident. Now, these days, you don't have to go with bright yellow and stupid ugly silver reflectors. They make gear like this jacket here that's black, but the writing that's on it, this is an Icon rain jacket, where it says Icon, that's actually made out of a reflective, gosh, I don't even know what you call it, decal, however the hell they attached it to the coat. It's actually made reflective. So it's not super ugly or hideous looking where it says like Icon, Moto and stuff. It is actually reflective. So these days they're working the reflectives in to still look pretty cool and sporty, and like I said, you don't have to wear bright yellow with big ugly silver stripes on it or something to be reflective. Today's gear is pretty awesome. A lot of the rain pants these days, they'll have reflective stripes on the legs or whatnot. I mean, I'm not saying full-fledged like clown pant stripes. I'm not saying that. But it'll be like a line or two of some kind of piping, maybe a brand name or something written in a reflective. So again, you don't have to wear things that look stupid. You just have to be smart about it and get things that are functional. So another tip, you can see my brights are on right now. I typically ride around with my brights on in the daytime. At night, I'll turn them down into the regular lights. I highly advise the same thing in the rain. If it's raining and it's daylight, make sure to turn your brights on. Again, what you're trying to do is make yourself as visible as possible to everybody else out there. So I highly recommend riding around with your brights on in a rainstorm, without doubt. 100%. Do keep rain pants in the Kigra. I don't have them on right now. It's just a big overpant that has a few reflective panels that again is waterproof. Also goes like over my boots and stuff, so I don't get water into my boot. So there is a disadvantage to wearing, I don't know if you guys could see that for my silly arm. See if I can get a clip of it here at this light. Chim, 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 chim. So like my leathers do this too. Gotta let go of the clutch. But you see how my pant is going into my boot. That can be a disadvantage, especially if it's raining. So my leathers also go into my boot just like this, and when it starts raining and my pants get wet, I'll be okay until I put my feet down, but once I put my feet down, the water goes straight into my boot, which can totally suck. So like my rain pants as an example, they actually go over the boots, so it actually stops that water from going down into the boots. Some pants are created, I do have some textile pants back at the house that were created to go over the boot in the first place. Those that again can be very helpful to not get your tootsies all wet, especially if it's cold. Wet, cold, mushy feet just never sounds like any fun to me. And I'll be honest, guys, your raincoat is good for more than just rain. As you can see, the sun is nice, bright, shining, and I am wearing my raincoat. Part of the reason is because I was cold. It provides a lot of shield from that wind and warms me up. Really, if you're doing any kind of night riding and your jacket doesn't have any, reflectors or bright colors on it, you might want to just think about putting on your raincoat just, again, to be visible. Sees way more usage just to keep me warm than it does actual rain, and I'm okay with that. I'm fine with that, whatever, dude. It was a little pricey. I think it was like $130, so all I care is that it gets a lot of use. It does keep me dry. I don't seem to have a whole lot of problems with like leakage in the zippers. Let's see, what else? Oh yes, I would invest in a really good dry bag. So rain riding tips. Let's go back over what we covered real quick. Nothing abrupt, no abrupt gas, no abrupt brakes. Use them slowly and evenly as possible. Do not lean in the turns. Try to turn as upright as possible. If you do find yourself leaned over for some reason, be as smooth as possible. Nothing abrupt. Get yourself reflective gear, jacket, pants. Not only will they help keep you warm and dry, they will help you be more visible. Ride around in daylight shitstorms with your brights on. Again, trying to be as visible as possible. I know some people say take dry clothes with you. I mean, if you don't have a good dry bag, your clothes aren't going to be dry anyways. If you have a good dry bag, sure, you know what, take some extra clothes. However, if you have good rain gear, you're probably not going to need them. However, if you don't have your rain gear on and it starts pouring and you get all wet, and then you have to throw your rain gear on and you're already soaked when you do so. So yeah, I went out to the mountains, got stuck in a complete shitstorm in the middle of Georgia. Still had like 2 states to travel back to where I was going. By the time everybody pulled out their rain gear, I was so cold, it wasn't even funny. Even though I had my rain gear on, I was not warm enough. I was shaking and shivering. It was terrible. And this is where my heated jacket actually came in. So when I want warmth, I more often than not, I actually wear the raincoat. The raincoat seems to provide me plenty of warmth right there. However, like I said, getting stuck in a crap storm, being already wet, even though I put my rain gear on, freezing, literally shaking. This is where my heated gear came in so handy. So I made another stop once it actually stopped raining and I wasn't warming up. I did make another stop and I stopped to put my heated gear on. I kept my raincoat on, but I put my heated jacket underneath. Now my heated jacket's actually pretty thick for a heated jacket. It's not like liner thin, it's a little bit thicker than that, and it actually has a water resistant layer on the outside, which I was really thankful for, because my jacket, my actual riding jacket, I was wearing the Icon jacket, the jacket itself was so soaked at that point in time that if I would have had on a super thin layer, I don't know if it would have worked as nicely. But being as thick as it was and having its own waterproofness to it was kind of repelling the water from the Icon jacket. And that heated jacket literally was the difference in like hypothermia. Glorious, absolute glorious. It warmed me right back up and kept me pretty toasty so I could get back to where I needed to be. So when I go on multi-state, crazy, 100-mile, you don't know what you're going to encounter trips, the heated jacket definitely goes with me. The rain gear, jacket and pants definitely go with me. If it's just like super dark and I'm worried about visibility, I'll throw this on just for the reflective, or I'll throw it on literally just to stay warm. Lots of uses, definitely well worth the money. Obviously, clean your chain as soon as you possibly can if you can't clean it. Now, I have personally I have this small small bottle of, I don't use chain lube, I use chain wax. I have this like small mini bottle of chain wax, and that chain wax will go into my key graph. I make sure to put my chain wax in there, and after you get stuck in the rain, obviously cleaning would be best, but if you can't clean it yet, I would at least throw a little bit of wax on there. Of course, clean it as soon as you can, clean it and re-lube it. Hey, is that a deer in the road already? It is. See, we're in deer hour. Dun 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 dun. What else? What else? Oh, this is so important. Oh, one of the most important things. So how am I like almost forgetting it? The first hour on the road of a rainstorm is the most dangerous. I had to look into that one, because at first I was like, I don't get it. How is the first hour the most dangerous? Like, I just don't understand. Well, the roads get dirty, and I'll try to show you at like the next stop sign. I mean, you can even kind of see it here. There's all this like powdered dirt like ground into it, so it's like changing the color of the surface. All that dirt right there. But especially at like stop signs and stoplights, where all the cars sit, especially right in the middle, you'll see all these little droplets of like oil. It might not be just the oil, it might be power steering fluid or possibly even brake fluid. So cars tend to sometimes have little leaks in them, which aren't a big deal. They're still drivable. But when they're sitting in traffic and or at stoplights and or at stop signs, they have a tendency to leave little drips. So during that first hour, as it's raining and the road's getting all wet, it's like loosening all that dirt, debris, and oils and kind of making them come out of the concrete and into that water that's on the road, which can aid in making the road slippery. So either use extra super caution, depending on the storm or the conditions that you're in. You might even want to, that might be a good time to stop and get some gas. Stop and take cover for a minute, put your rain gear on, take a little break. I know they say the first hour, but depending on how much it's raining, if it's raining a decent amount, I'll say at least 20 minutes. You don't necessarily have to do the whole hour, but at least those first 20 minutes. Let's see if we can catch some on the ground right here at the stop sign. It's like there's a whole trail here. Like I'm literally have my tire, but you see all these little there's like a whole trail right there. Right here. You see it? It's like literally a trail. And there's a spot there and there's a spot there. That's the stuff that literally gets lifted out, and then that stuff sits floating in the water and literally makes it more slippery for you, depending on your situation, if you can. Wait a few minutes, or pull over. You fuckers! You fuckers! Good thing I was not going fast. Good thing I wasn't going fast at all. I don't even want to go fast. I kind of want to let this Jeep go first. He has no idea why I'm going as slow as I'm going. Whew, we're going to get up here, and I'm going to let this Jeep pass me, because I am going to take extra caution, because they seem in full fucking force today. I don't want to fuck with no deer today. Like, I am good. That one deer wanted to run in there, and then he realized that there was a fence and that he couldn't do it. Because I want to make it home safely and have dinner. Ooh, there's actually a car on the GM stretch. You want to race? Come on, let's go. This is the GM test grounds, the proving grounds, where they test things before they're even out and available to the public.